All right, meeting's live.
Very good, thank you.
No problem.
Good evening. My name is Greg Young, Chair of the Conservation Commission, Northborough, and I'd like to call the December 8th to the 2025 meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. This meeting is being conducted remotely in accordance with the provisions of the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law. It is being streamed live and recorded through the Northborough Media Connection. Because we are remote, all votes taken this evening will be by roll call vote. Before I begin, I will confirm the presence of the commission members and staff members participating remotely. As I call your name, please state your name and confirm that you can hear and be heard. John Johnson.
Present, I can hear you loud and clear.
Kelly Marston.
Here, I can hear you.
Sadie Stone.
I'm here and I can hear you too.
Excellent. We're waiting for Todd, right? I don't see him on the phone yet. Staff, when I call your name, please confirm. Vincent Vignali.
Here, and I can hear you.
Pat Renoro.
Present.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Meeting ground rules. The chair will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until their name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. For items of public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. By phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to those viewing the meeting. By Zoom, click raise hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized. The chair will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, the chair will call each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. A reminder that this meeting is being recorded and will be available for viewing via the Northborough Media Connection tab on the right side of the town's website. Okay. Meeting minutes. Vinny, excellent job on the meeting minutes. I think do we thank you for that, or do we thank
No, Abby,
Abby
the
did,
clerk.
nice.
She's just new in the office, only been there since I think July, but she just started doing the conservation stuff and she's doing a great job.
Yes, she is.
Doing it well.
Nice job. Please extend congratulations to her and her thanks.
I will, thank you.
Okay, any questions, comments, concerns on the November 10th meeting minutes?
Make a motion to second the minutes.
Need a motion to accept them.
I understand. Motion to accept minutes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second that.
Seconded by Sadie, I believe. Roll call. Kelly Marston.
Yes.
John Johnson.
Yes.
Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Okay, public hearings, we got some, oh, Kelly, got the order?
I do. You ready?
I am ready if you are.
The meeting will include the following hearings pursuant to MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, the Northborough Wetlands Protection Bylaw, and/or the Northborough Stormwater Management and Land Disturbance Bylaw. Request for a determination of applicability at 254 Rice Ave, map 35, parcel 20, owned by Sao Javed to replace an existing failed septic system. The work will occur within the outer riverfront area. Stormwater Management and Land Disturbance Permit Application 2025-02 at 9 Goddard Road, Building 1 Additions, map 17, parcel 9. For Saint-Gobain Research North America, the proposed construction and renovation work includes building and stormwater treatment improvements and associated site work that will alter more than 1 acre of area. request for a determination of applicability at 150 Boundary Street, map 31, parcel 9, owned by the town of Northborough. The Northborough Trails Committee is proposing a loop trail between the dog park and Old Farm Trail parking area on Boundary Street. The 4-foot wide natural surface trail is proposed within the 25-foot no disturb setback. The 35-foot no setback structures setback and a 100-foot buffer zone. Notice of intent application at 230 Solomon Pond Road, 10 and 30 Deerfoot Road, map parcel of 18 and 12, 17, 2 and 3, owned by 30 Deerfoot Road LLC and 10 Bear Limited Partnership, whose proposed construction of a new light industrial building on an isolated vegetated wetland, including stormwater and site improvements. The work is proposed within isolated vegetated wetland, the 25-foot no disturb setback and 35-foot no structured setback.
Very good. Thank you, Kelly. Welcome, Todd Helwig.
Thanks.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. Can you hear
We can
me?
hear you. We can hear you too. Very good. Okay. Continuations. 432 Whitney Street. I believe that Brian's with us. I don't know if Marielle's here or not. But welcome, Brian.
Good evening. Thank you.
So we continued this, and I think the issue was what Vinny, we're waiting for a formal DCR response. Is that it?
Yes, we were waiting for an approval from DCR. I have not seen it. Have you seen anything, Brian?
I haven't seen anything formal yet. I think that we were both CC'd on the last conversations between Marielle and the gentleman from DCR whose name escapes me at this point. So I'm not totally clear where we stand right now as far as this commission goes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think from our perspective, we're waiting for that response to come in because a couple of commissioners, I think, were holding their vote based on that happening. So I'd like to just push this to January and hope we get it in by then.
Yeah, we would just continue it.
Yeah.
Sure.
No issue. We're good with that?
I think so.
Okay. Need a motion to continue the 432 Whitney Street discussion to the January 12th meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Zadie Stone.
Yes.
I vote yes. Brian, while you're here, why don't we do the dog park?
Absolutely.
Is that?
That'd be
All right.
great.
I will
All right.
pull up the image, I think.
So this is an RDA for 150 Boundary Street, the Dog Loop Trail.
All right. You want to walk it through, Brian, or you want me to?
Well, I'll just give sort of the basic description. The goal of the trail, it's actually two separate segments. One segment of the trail would come off the back gate entrance of the dog park, where there's a fence that heads out towards the woods. And that would just be a small trail that would then connect right over to the existing Old Farm Trail. And then the front section of trail would simply be a relatively straight link trail to connect the parking lot of the dog park to the parking lot at the Old Farm Trailhead. And the primary goal of the front section is to allow for safe public access, to be able to, for folks to be able to walk from one parking lot to another. They're currently pretty much within sight of each other, and we really want to try to keep people off of Boundary Street because it's completely unsafe to walk on. And then the goal of the back trail segment of the loop, if you will, is to just give the townsfolk who are utilizing the dog park a small chance to walk with their dogs through the woods on a loop and then get back out, connectivity back through the parking lot, or they could double back to the back of the dog park.
Brian, isn't some of this an existing trail?
So it connects over to the Old Farm Trail, which is an existing trail where Vinny is kind of showing on the map. Yep.
Yeah, that's, I should have, on the map, I should have made that a different color. That is actually, this is all an existing trail. There's an existing crossing here already. The yellow is the wetland. And the property where the dog park is here. You can see the dog park. The run areas are here, the parking lot where you drive in and you got the parking spaces right there. And then this goes out to the back, and this trail kind of leads through. You can go through the dog park and then come out the back gate and then go on to a new trail that leads up to and connects to the old farm trail. And that existing trail is this. Brings you out to the parking lot, right? The existing parking lot on Boundary, the dirt parking area. But this way, the proposal along the Boundary Street section is to run parallel to the road and keep people off that road because they fly on that road.
Yep, they do.
So I have that as the big picture. This is where it is. And then, okay, let's see if I can spin this. This is a closer up view. It's a 4-foot wide trail, just a natural surface trail. And it's going basically from the parking lot on the dog park. The wetland where it's close to is right here. And we're about 15 or 20 feet away along the edge of the right of way of the Boundary Street. And then it joins into a mode right of way that is operated by, I think that one's operated by the DCR, but it could be either DCR or Marlboro because the Marlboro treatment facility is right across the street.
Vinny, on the previous map, what was the blue marking? What are those blue markings there?
The blue is just the property line for the dog park property. It runs along there and then it runs all the way out back. So this is all town land. This area here is DCR land.
Okay. And we're not talking any encroachment in the wetlands here, really?
No, it's just in the buffer, in the setback area.
Okay. Any questions, comments from the commission?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Let's see. Any public comments? See if we can get everybody their hands up. I don't see any hands up. Okay. This is a spring activity, Brian, for you? Are you gonna try and do it in the wintertime?
If the snow clears, we could absolutely do it in the wintertime. Otherwise, we'd hop into early spring.
Yeah.
It's a very simple. It's basically a rake-in. It doesn't require much equipment. The back path through the woods is already walkable in its current form. There's virtually no underbrush or anything, so it's a pretty straightforward one. We would just hit it weather dependent, and then of course depending on what other projects we're working on at the time.
Good. Okay.
The only big item would be and it's not even that big. There's a probably 36-inch dead tree going across there. We would take off the end of it. We wouldn't cut an opening. We would take off like 6 or 8 feet down to the flag. I moved the flag, so we just cut that off and moved that out of the way to keep the traffic the new path close up to the road.
We saw that when we did the site walk on that one.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're looking here at a negative determination and no, I can't think of any special requirements, Vinny. Do you have
Nope.
anything?
Nope. They don't really need any sediment barriers. Usually we have a sediment barrier inspection requirement, but it's just raking stuff in, so that's not needed.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion to issue a negative determination for
Close the hearing.
Sorry, we need a motion to close the hearing on 150 Boundary Street, the Dog Loop Trail.
So moved.
Second,
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Now we're looking to issue a negative determination for 150 Boundary Street, Dog Loop Trail.
So moved.
Second,
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
yes.
Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. All set. Very good.
Excellent. Thank you all very much for your time.
Mhm.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, let's see. 13 River Street, continued NOI.
Yes, I got an email from Glenn Kravosky. He said he wanted to talk about that for a minute, but
Okay.
I don't see him here.
I am here.
Oh, that's the phone person. Excellent, with his hand raised.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
At your convenience.
We can hear you, Glenn.
Thank you. Just came from another meeting, just on the phone. It was very brief. We did have, thank you very much, Glenn Kowalski from EBT Environmental. Did have communique with Mr. Vignali today and supplied answers to hopefully close to his final questions, all deserved, of course. And there was some comment as to possibly just continuing till your next meeting, but I know you've been waiting to hear from us for a while, back and forth. Chapter 91 had to be relieved of that was negative, but we didn't have to go in front of them. We did have to change from just a surveyor, Odone, who we had in the past, to a Zachary Gless, and now we're hunting down. We're talking to two structural engineers relative to the wall, which is on the upgradient portion of the property, the upstream portion. Beyond that, we will be asking for a continuance to your next meeting, hopefully giving Mr. Vignali, as he expressed, time to review this documentation, and also getting that structural engineer stamp on the plan, hoping to be on your, if we can be on your January meeting. We have tightened up on the temporary disturbances in the buffer zone, the removal of some hostas and lilies, and not seeding and grassing those areas of her garden along the wall, the lower wall, which we're replacing. Some detail on this floating siltation boom and how's it tied into the existing wall and tied to that wall. And even though it's 5 feet tall, most of these floating booms are, I have a 100-footer. They can be flexible, and they don't have to be exactly 3 feet or 4 feet because they're solid, and they will prevent the water. We used them before in the previous project here. And other details about how far we have to dig back to excavate and show all. I'll go back to the upper wall, the 10-foot high wall, how we're removing that material, and then starting with large rock, 3 foot to 4 foot diameter. The big stuff, it appears, if I didn't say this to you before, the upper wall, they ran out of it, appeared just watching it and walking the river, the entire river, with waders on to flag the mean annual high water along the river. And by the way, if you ever choose to flag on rock, the lichens are up gradient of the mean annual high water directly, and there are no lichens that below that. So it was a pretty distinct line as you walk the river, in case we have to do another wall at some point in the future. You know, the lichen being that algae fungus symbiotic relationship lichen. And anyways, it was very distinct, and it was sprayed little dots of orange, and then the surveyor went out and picked each one up, and that's how we determined that MAHW. On and on to that, and the final restoration of the soils. And again, this is for the review, Mr. Vignali, and then eventually back in front of you. And I believe from that, I'm here to answer any questions before the next meeting, if indeed we can get on your next agenda.
Okay, I think we can certainly do that. I think didn't you submit a bunch of paperwork to Vinnie the last couple of days?
Yes, yes, we did, and that's why he does express, obviously, need for time to review it, and that's
Okay.
why we're asking for that continuance.
Okay. Then we need a motion to continue the hearing for 13 River Street.
So moved.
Is there a second? Is that Kelly?
Second.
Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. See you in
If I
January.
could,
But before you go.
Yes, sir.
Vinny, is Glenn Oberg
sir.
too?
I
Yes,
think I saw
I
him,
am.
but
That's-
Glenn represents him as
Glenn,
well.
why you want to give us like a 3-minute update on what you're doing with 07?
I do. Thank you for that. I did send in documentation. I'm sure Mr. Vignali will share that with you. I have it here in front of me. It is a couple of paragraphs. It describes my site inspection on 11/7 with Mr. Oberg, the walking of the two parcels. It describes the two parcels here from Saddle Hill Drive and Davis Street. And the back land, this is all low-lying land. It does describe that the original farmer, possibly the Oberg family, if they go that far back, had channelized much of the wetland systems and floodplain through here, as I do lecture on dam and drainage in the agricultural era because I grew up in a 1835 farmland, Wellington. The point being is it was drained. There is an upland field. I show a photo where we parked looking at that field, and there's where most of the violation, I believe, has occurred. We looked at aerial flyovers from both 01, 17, 19, and 25. We gave you a mass mapper with 1-foot contour intervals so that you can see the gradation, the stream up in the back, the stream in the front, how the flow path works, what the elevations look like, and again, what the field looked like and as it evolved over time, changed. And then the most recent field and plus the photo, it describes how we can see the wetlands to the east and to the west of the pre-existing field and how we're going to delineate that wetland boundary, talking to Mr. Vignali earlier a month or so ago, delineate the wetland boundary, have a peer review of potentially someone or the town, someone's going to look at that line. It is not a cut and dry line. There is sedges and rushes in the lower part that haven't been altered. Obviously, there's cattails where it gets very wet. But as we rise up onto this knob in the center, as you go straight in on that 50-foot wide, as I believe it is, straight in, we can see through the aerial flyover the original field area and then the alteration to the left and right. There was some case that Mr. Oberg did want to eventually get the horses from the west over to this area, but as we walked that entire, which he hadn't walked it in years, it's been grown in, there was some old fence posts. It is truly all wetlands. I did say that there was no longer an agricultural exemption here because it doesn't show that it had been used for agriculture with a commodity with sales slips and commercial. It has to be as we work on other farms and wear and other things. So we're just looking to get back to the original field, take out any deleterious material that's brought up in the letter. As far as debris, and let me see if it was mentioned in the enforcement. I don't know if I can find the exact couple of words here. But native shrubs we talk about, and once we remove the area, we'll plant it and remove that. I'm just looking for Mr. Vignali's exact words here. The mulch and yard barn debris is as it was described, those words. In the enforcement order, we'll be describing how we're going to remove that material, then seed with wet meadow seed mix, New England wetland plants, in some upland areas, buffers, potentially that would be conservation seed mix. And then there can be some winterberry and some planting also where vegetation has been removed and it's obvious. So so we're working on the restoration, delineation, then restoration, and then eventual utilization of the field that is upland, and some as Mr. Vignali brought up, some demarcation of that field so we don't get awry again and go further out. And that demarcation, I left it up to the town to tell us what they would like to see. But we did mention posts, boulders. There's a few things that you might suggest to us that you'd like to see, and we'll be waiting for that once we submit and talk to Mr. Vignali again, what the commission normally would want to see, or we'll talk about that in January. But because there's not going to be a lot of restoration over the winter. I worked yesterday outside and the ground is frozen on exotic invasive plant removal. That's the gist, and I'm hoping again that I'm sure Mr. Vignali will share this with I'm looking at it with the commission.
Sure he will.
You'll get
Yes,
a
he
bigger
will.
picture. All right.
Good. Thank you, Glenn.
Well, we thank you for that and good holiday season. Thank you again.
Okay. Talk to you in January.
Thank you again. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay. Continued NOI for 238 Hudson Street. This is the accessory dwelling unit issue. I see Mark Arnold here. Anybody else, Mark?
I'm not sure if Todd Yellick will be joining us or not tonight.
I see a Todd's iPhone. But
That's me.
is that you, Todd?
Oh, so. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Here we go.
Great, thank you. Mr. Chair, I wasn't sure how you'd want to walk through the comments that Vincent issued on November 25th to us and the commission. And we did provide responses. Wasn't sure how you'd like us to walk through them. We do understand the zoning work is still pending, and although that's a separate regulatory review with the building department and the planning board if necessary. But we're hoping to at least clarify that we do believe that we've complied with the regulations under the Wetlands Protection Act in terms of compliance with the work that's proposed, and also the fact that we do have a project that is approvable for conditions besides waiting for zoning just to confirm there's no other pending issues from their end.
Yeah, the my feel, I know that there's open issues still between what you've delivered and what Vinny's looking for. So those need to be worked out. I prefer that we don't use this as a working session. That's not the way I like to run the commission here. The other piece I have is that I don't see a big benefit for us moving forward without the zoning issue resolved.
So I understand that, Mr. Chair. I think there is some questions about, plan issues and other things that Vincent has brought up. We've responded to him several times in writing. I'm assuming the commission saw Vincent's comments from November 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So and we did respond to them again on on December 4th, and again it's Vincent. I mean, I don't, have you had a chance to review those? You may not have, but just to clarify.
Oh, yes, I did. And a few of them were, I was looking for something to be shown on the plan, and you did respond to the comment or the question, but your response was giving me a list and not actually showing it on the plan. It was a simple question of putting something on the plan so it's easy to identify and evaluate, but it's still not on the plan. There are two items, the riverfront area alteration, as well as the degraded riverfront area.
So to the chair, is this the commission standard want? I mean, on every site plan that you're approving, I mean, the square footages of all degraded areas on a project that's submitted. I mean, we've provided clear documentation of what's on the property in terms of a site plan that shows the information. We've provided a table that covers everything that's degraded on the property above and beyond what this project is proposing. And I'm just trying to understand if we're cluttering the plan with information that is provided in tables in our letters. It's been provided on the JPA Form 3. And in terms of that, if the table is satisfactory, Vincent, we could talk to Glenn about getting it on the table. I'm sure he'd be glad to, because he's well qualified to provide square footages of structures. So if that's an issue, we haven't gotten clarity that the data is good, or that that makes sense. Can the table be put on the plan? That would be a reasonable request, but it's been very difficult to understand exactly specifics of what we were looking for on this plan, so we can instruct Glenn to provide a plan that is professionally clear for this commission to review.
Well, I've drafted 3 letters on this, and pretty consistently I've said the same things of what I've been looking for. And if you have specific questions to it, then it would be great to talk and go through that. I don't know that it's time for that at the meeting, but we can talk tomorrow or the next day and get all the details worked out if you're willing to talk about it.
So to the chair, the applicant has paid for us to come to several meetings to discuss these matters, and we'd appreciate the opportunity to at least present the information. If Vincent needs more time or you need more time to digest the information, I totally understand that. But I just wanted to walk through some of these comments, because again, we have a very straightforward project in terms of we have a large garage that's 2 feet from the river. We're reducing that structure, making it smaller, moving it 25 feet away from the river, providing a planting bed along the river, and working all within lawn and gravel driveway. And so in terms of the project itself, it's very straightforward. And I'm concerned that we're chasing around the property, looking at every little object on the property when the project in front of the commission is within the limit of work that's proposed. And in terms of the applicant itself, it's very concerning that he just wants to understand that this is resolvable. And again, we do believe that the information we have provided is sufficient for the commission to render a decision. And the information on the plan, in addition to that, is not necessary for the commission to review the project, and also creates a lot more clutter to the plan, which we don't want to do for the contractor's sake.
Mark, in all of the years I've been doing this in permitting work, I've never heard of anybody complain about not putting things on a plan when that's the path of least resistance to getting something done. I cannot understand where your objection would be for this.
So just so I can walk, I just want to read one comment, and then I think we can maybe continue this out. But I just want to read this one comment from Vincent. I'm going to read it word for word. Provide the areas of degraded riverfront area, period. Photo number 3 of the NOI, the site visit indicated vegetative cover in the area's west garage, and calculations should reflect this, period. Revisions to the north gravel driveway area could be done to reduce degraded areas, period. The degraded riverfront areas are still not depicted on the plan, period. These areas still not shown on the plan, period. So we're asking to provide basically provide the degraded areas in the riverfront area. We're asked to provide calculations. We're advised to the degraded areas are still not depicted on the plan. So if that's a table, then Vincent, do you want a table on the plans? That's great. Calculations usually aren't always provided on a plan. They're provided in other forms. So that's what we're struggling with here in terms of that, because again, we've provided on the site plan clear documentation of what's happening in terms of the structure and the floodplain, and that's all on the plan right now. Is that clear data to show the project does comply, and we worked with Glenn on that. So that's just that's there. We provided you tables, Vincent. If you want the tables on the plans,
the response is the question that you just read was a culmination of 3 different comments and responses. So they were just highlighted differently. So the initial comment was to show the degraded areas on the site plan, and it's repeated in there because there have been 3 different submittals and it hasn't been shown on the plan. So every one of those comment, or that one comment, is partly because it was asked 3 times and it hasn't been shown. But
what is
I'm
missing
asking
from the
for
plan?
a delineation of, like, you can shade the area that is the degraded riverfront area. You've done it on other projects. I get it from other applicants all the time of showing the degraded riverfront area, because there's a question on this one. What's being considered degraded riverfront area? Because the area that was mentioned initially as being degraded is actually grass growing through an old gravel area that looks like a lawn when I was out there. So what I'm trying to do is get a delineation on the plan so that we can characterize where the areas are really degraded and what areas are really lawn growing. And it's not clear right now until I see it on the plan.
Okay, so that's actually, now I actually understand what you're looking for, because you didn't mention the word hatch or clearly demarcate where the degraded areas are. That was unclear to us. Again, because
Mark, you have a phone, right?
I do have a phone.
You could have called at any time prior to tonight and had this conversation.
We've spoken with Vincent before about this project and face to face, and again, we've tried to understand this. So again, we just would like to understand that matter. So I guess let me put it this way to the chair: do the commission have any comments on the project? I'll take them under advisement. We can continue the hearing, and I just want to make sure that the commission has reviewed the comments that Vincent did issue from his office, just to make sure the commission, each member here, has seen those, just so that
I have a document that Vinny put out, which is a summary of 9 key points that he's looking for.
Okay, did he send that to us?
I presume he does not send it to you. This is for the internal here.
I have not yet, but I can send that off to you. That's, that,
So he'll
I
send us off
prepared
to
that
you,
at
and then-
3
and then I
o'clock this
believe that-
afternoon.
That once these 9 points are addressed, to Vinnie's satisfaction, then we're in reasonable shape. However, point number 9 is the construction of residential structure within the 100-year floodplain is prohibited by the zoning laws. So my personal view, and Todd helped me out on this one, is why should we go any further until that's resolved?
Yeah, the point we're making here is if it's illegal under the zoning bylaw, why would we issue a permit for it here?
So we're not asking for a permit tonight. We're not asking for resolution on full approval here. We want clarification that there's no other outstanding issues outside the commission's, that's inside the commission's jurisdiction. And then I understand we need a zoning clarification, and this commission will want that before they issue. Understood. But we want to make sure that under regulations, there's no other questions like, does the commission feel they need a tracking pad for a gravel driveway entrance for this ADU? That's a question I think that we'd like clarification on, because we have a gravel driveway to a paved road, and a tracking pad to that just seems like more destruction to the gravel driveway itself than reducing sediment load to the road itself. So those are the things that we'd like to get clarified, so that way we can run things parallel with the zoning.
We can work through, I can give you that list and we can work through that. I don't know that we need to do it at the meeting here, but I
Okay,
can
well-
go through that with you and we can address it all.
So I'll request a continuance to your next meeting, and I appreciate that you would circulate the information you submitted, circulated to the commission already. Thank you.
Okay. So we need a motion to continue this to the January 12th meeting, 238 Hudson Street.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Second by John. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
yes.
Kelly Marston. Kelly's in transit. Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. We still got 4 votes there, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mark. All right. All right, Vinny, you good to work with that? I mean, that's what we're looking for, right? Is
Yeah, it's easy.
All right, moving on. 302 R Church Street, continued ANRAD. Who do we have on for anybody for
We
this
got
one?
Brian Waterman.
Brian Waterman. I see
I'm
his
here.
smiling face right there. Hello, Brian.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
So,
Yep.
Vinny and I walked it a couple for the last meeting, so I got a familiarization of it. We had a couple of minor issues outstanding. So why don't you tell us where we are?
Yep. So, I mean, we had continued the last hearing just because we didn't have a DEP file number and to give you guys time to go walk the site. Vincent wrote back that we did get the file number. DEP had one comment. They just said that the commission confirmed the isolated nature of the 300 series wetland. And that was one of Vincent's comments was, is there actually a connection between the isolated wetland and the pond to the south that's adjacent to the road? So we met Vincent out there and walked it. There's no defined channel or connection. The vegetation, the herbaceous and tree vegetation is all upland. There are some shallow roots, as Vincent pointed out, but as we mentioned, I think it's more of a function of the rock content that is there. You can see roots growing over the rocks. I tried to do several borings with a hand auger, and you get down a couple inches, you're just hitting rocks. So I think we were in agreement and clarified that there's no physical connection. As Vincent mentioned, it appears the standing water to the south could be classified as a pond. So we mapped that by the aerial photo and GIS data and updated the plan to show a pond, just so we didn't at the time identify what it was bordering on. It just said it was bordering wetland because it was the greatest extent on the property. But we did update that and show the pond based on aerial photos, what I had seen when I'd flagged the wetlands, the water level and the GS data, it's over the 10,000 square foot minimum. It's about 18 to 20,000. So we mapped that and showed that on the plan. There was also a question, would the isolated wetland qualify as isolated land subject to flooding, either under the state quarter acre foot or the local bylaw 1/8 acre foot? So we ran an engineering calculation on that. It comes back that it does not meet either. It's just under the local. And our engineer submitted those calculations to Vincent. So I think we've addressed that. Vincent said he was fine with the rest of the delineation as far as the mean annual high water delineation for the perennial unnamed stream and the BVW. So I think we've addressed everything, and I think we're in good shape, and Vincent has a copy of the revised plan.
Can we take a quick look at the plan, Vinny? No?
Do you have it, Brian? I don't have that one. No, I don't have that one.
I can get it if you give me a minute.
Actually, let me try to pull it up. I might have it handy. Depends on how fast things work here.
Yeah, well, this laptop's not doing me any favors.
All right, I've got it.
You got it?
I think so. Yes. Let me just pull it up for you.
Sure. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
So
Can we get increase the size just a little bit?
yep, just for location wise, you've got Church Street here. It comes up and this is Brewer Street right here. So it's this corner. The property is bounded on Brewer, goes around the back to the old tree farm, the bottom of the big hill by the
Condos over there.
the condos, and along the bottom of the big hill and down to a pond down in the southwest. And then the oldest house in town is right here. And then it goes up and around this way. So is there a spot you want to zoom into, Greg?
No, I just want to get a perspective here of where, because I noticed the question we had went down that lower left quadrant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a total of about 15 acres, the whole entire property. Yeah. So you can see the area of the approximate pond that we added down in the left-hand corner. There is an outlet pipe from that. You can see down the bottom left-hand corner, there's a 12-inch pipe that runs to the south. Yeah, there's a 12-inch corrugated metal pipe that runs under Church Street there. So I think the discussion was right above where Vinny's got his hand. Was there a physical connection between that isolated wetland? But there's really nothing visible in there. And then we submitted the drainage area. You can see the hillside to the left, so a lot of that flows down to this area. And then there's a divide to the north and a little bit to the east. So just, you know, physically that area is big enough. It's not very deep. It's pretty flat if you walk through there. It just doesn't have the supporting drainage area to generate enough runoff to create the isolated land subject. But it's an isolated wetland under the local bylaw either way. So the 25 and 35 no build.
Yep. All right.
And I think Vincent, you were good with the rest of the delineation.
Yeah, everything was good. Good delineations. Because there's a perennial stream that runs through here. But just keep things moving. Perennial stream runs down through here and comes out right at the corner of Brewer and Church Street.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it.
Good. All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Ryan.
Sure.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? Comments, concerns? Any questions from the public? No. All right, then we need to going to close the hearing, Vinny, yeah?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I heard it. See, good to see you, that one. Roll call, Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yep,
Kelly
yes.
Marston,
Yes.
and Sadie Stone.
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. So now do we issue the actual ANRAD, Vinnie? We vote to
Yes.
issue
Yep.
an ANRAD as approved by
An
commission?
order of resource determination,
Or
resource area determination.
ORAD, that's right. Okay, haven't done one of these for a while. Need a motion to issue an ORAD for 302R Church Street.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sadie. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston, Sadie Stone.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay. Kelly's in the background. I vote yes. All set. Brian, thank you.
Thank you. If I don't talk to you, have a nice Christmas.
Same to you and yours. Thank you.
All right,
you,
take
Brian.
care. Bye-bye.
All right. Moving along here, we have a stormwater management and land disturbance permit for 9 Goddard Road. Who do we have here for that? Is that John Perry?
Yes, good evening.
Anybody with you,
Yep.
John?
I'm with Maggie Laracy from my office and also Scott Harrison from SGA. He's the architect on the project.
Okay, I see Scott in the audience.
And I have a short presentation to introduce the project if that's okay, if I can share my screen.
No, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay, everyone see that?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So thanks for having us tonight. Yes, this is we're representing Saint-Gobain, the property owner here at their facility at 9 Goddard Street. And I'll go to the first slide here. This is the approximate location of the site. Assuming most of you are familiar with the property, it's just south of the interchange for 290 here. And actually part of the site is bisected by the town line. So we're right on the Northborough Marlborough line. It's an existing manufacturing facility. Total site area is about 25 acres. It's developed. There's about 11 acres of existing impervious area. I'll zoom in here a little bit so you can see. It's a campus with a few different buildings here, lots of parking. And what we're proposing is to infill some of these areas with some small additions. Total area of these 3 additions would be about 14,000 square feet of floor area. And we're here seeking a land disturbance and stormwater permit. There's no wetlands, within 100 feet of the limit of work. So we didn't need to, come in for a notice of intent or an RDA or anything like that. So it's really, we're here for the land disturbance and stormwater permit, which we've filed and received some initial comments on from Vincent last week. So thank you for those comments, Vincent. We're also, let me zoom in on the site plan here, go to the next slide. So here's the site plan, showing a little more detail on those 3 additions. The one more on the north is going to be an expansion of some of the manufacturing space. And then these other 2 to the east are more expansions of the loading zone, loading dock areas. There's an existing gravel loop road around the facility here. And I'll zoom in on this photo here so you can kind of see this area in the back that we're going to be filling with that addition. So this is hard packed gravel surface here. Portion of the area is, grass, but more disturbed land more than anything. We will be paving this gravel roadway here with the proposed work. Over here on this side, on the east here, This is existing. This is a loading zone, as I mentioned before, loading with some, storage, and this is where the recycling containers are here. This area of the building, that's going to be what's filled in as the building addition with the augmented loading dock area, and we'll just be, improving the pavement around it as needed to make the grading work, essentially. And then similarly, a little more to the south here, similar condition where it's an existing loading area, that addition will be in this general area here. And again, just manipulating some of the grading and redoing some of the pavement, the existing pavement, as well here. So altogether, we're adding about a half an acre of net new impervious area. That's about a 3 or 4% increase over the whole site. So fairly, insignificant in my opinion. Before I get into what we propose for stormwater drainage and stormwater quality, just wanted to show the limit of work here and our proposed erosion controls. We've colored them, although maybe still a little hard to see here. In pink, we're showing a silt sock, so it'd be like a compost filter tube silt sock around the limit of work. Some of that's going to be on existing asphalt, so I like to use those compost filter tubes. They have some weight to them, so you don't really need to stake them down. But along the edge here, along the property line, we'll have a compost filter tube and a silt fence, just for a little extra, belt and suspenders, if you will. And then that's more of a wooded area, so we can stake that down.
Isn't there a regular fence there now already?
There is a fence there now too. It's a chain link fence as well. All in all, it's a fairly flat area, as you saw from the photographs. There's good sandy material underneath the existing gravel and or asphalt. We dug a few test pits out here to about 10 feet and found just great clean sand, no groundwater all the way down. So when we're doing our construction work, there should be a real low potential for soil erosion out here, but we're going to be obviously proposing these erosion control measures nonetheless for just an abundance of caution. We will have some construction tracking pads as well, like stone construction entrances, just so we don't kind of make a mess of the adjacent pavement as well. I know there's some questions on that too in your notes, Vincent, that you gave to us last week. So we'll be clarifying those with a response this week. So just really quickly here, we analyzed the stormwater. Although it's a fairly small project, we are adding impervious area, as we noted before. So we analyzed the stormwater in the area where we will have a net new impervious area. On the eastern side here, we won't have any increase in impervious area, so we didn't analyze that because the stormwater conditions won't change. But in this area where we have that existing grass and gravel, we want to make sure we're meeting all the stormwater regulations that are required, peak flow rates, recharge, water quality, things of that nature. So this is the area we analyzed. We broke it into essentially two watersheds. There's a break point in the grades here where water kind of flows down that gravel path and around and down into the existing drainage system here. And then over here, it really just kind of sheet flows. There's an existing underground stormwater system that was installed a little while ago that we've analyzed as well. And then there's a low point over here where water kind of just sits. Yeah, I suppose in a large storm event, it could overflow and overtop that fence line and discharge to the north. So we called that our design point, but really it all just sits here and infiltrates into the ground. There's a dry well or two out there as well that will actually be coming out and being replaced by a new stormwater system.
How much of your stormwater management infrastructure is new versus what's already there?
So we're gonna actually take out that existing underground chamber system here now that was installed. There was a new concrete pad installed fairly recently. I don't know if it was a year or 2 years ago. That was installed with that project. We're gonna be removing that and then replacing it with a slightly bigger one here, just because it fits. It's just gonna all fit better. It'll be easier to maintain just the one unit. And then in this area, this will be all new. There's no stormwater management in this area now, except for just, one or two existing leaching catch basins. So those are going to come out. We're going to have new deep sump hooded catch basins, 2 new underground infiltration chambers.
Mhm.
And for pretreatment, we'll have an isolator row, which basically is it accepts any sediment that would get in there that you can clean out. It's almost like a 4-bay, if you think of it that way. And then these other 2 chambers here really do the bulk of the infiltration work, because this first one here is actually supposed to get a little bit sedimented up.
Okay.
So yeah. And you might notice that this plan I'm showing you looks slightly different than what was submitted, and that's because based on some of your comments that we got, Vincent, last week, we're addressing some of those right now. So this is just an updated version here. Actually, I think this is what was submitted. It was a little less detail. The underground systems were more just the shapes, and we're adding some construction level detail, as you can see, so you can see kind of how it all will fit together. And you'll get that supplemental information, like I said, this week. And we, have, like I said before, pretreatment with the deep sump catch basins and the isolator row. So there were in the report 2 sheets, one to show the pretreatment, and then one to show the overall treatment. So we want to show that we're removing an adequate amount of sediment before it gets into the infiltration area of the underground system. So we need to make sure we're removing at least 44% of TSS before it gets into before it gets beyond that isolator row and gets into the infiltration trenches. So we're achieving that, and then with the isolator row, deep sump catch basins, and the infiltration, we're getting close to 100% of TSS removal. And I don't have a sheet here to talk about phosphorus, but we addressed that in the report as well. And we will be responding with some clarification on those calculations as well for a little more information.
Good.
So that's really the project. I hope it was clear, and would love to entertain any questions you might have.
Any questions from the commission?
Greg, I just want to remind you anyway, I'm recused on this one because my firm does work for the applicant.
I wrote a note down on that one, Todd, but thank you. Yes. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Vinny, I know you were looking for some calculations. Is this what's in transit?
Yeah, I had a few comments and questions. I wasn't clear on a lot of the information, so I think they're going to provide the supplemental stuff that I need. I don't see any real big issues with it. It's just during construction, keeping things clean, keeping it from getting out into the existing pavement. Luckily, there are no wetlands nearby where this is going to really discharge into. So it's just making sure that all the calcs work out, that they've got the separation to groundwater and all the other requirements under the stormwater DEP guidance.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a pretty comprehensive plan. So it's
yeah,
in a fairly it's not a very challenging environment, which is good too.
That's right. Yes, I think we should be able to button this up for the next meeting.
You think we can close in January?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. If there's no more questions, John, we're going to continue this to January if that works with you.
That's great. Yes, thank you.
It's not like we're close to being there, but we'll just make that last little jump there. Okay, we need a motion to continue the stormwater management and disturbance permit for 9 Goddard Road.
So moved.
Was that Sadie?
Yep.
Okay, is there a second? Seconded by, I believe it was Kelly. Roll call vote. John Johnson.
Yes.
Kelly Marston. Kelly? Yep. Is that a yes? I think it's a yes. Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Thank you, John. We'll see you on January 12th.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have an RDA here for 254 Rice Avenue, a failed septic system.
That's Matt Morrow.
Kelly, you've changed locations.
Yes.
You're muted. There you go. Okay. Okay. Very good.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Matt.
Am I able to share my screen?
Yes.
Certainly.
Just give me 1 sec. I've never been rapid fire on the screen share here.
I thought you were going to say you've never done this before. That would be nervous. Okay, we're good.
Okay, can you guys see that okay? I'm going to just zoom in on the image a little bit here.
Yeah, I can see it. It's very small, but I can see it.
How's that better?
No change. Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
there we go.
It's
That's better.
coming. There's just a delay.
Yeah.
A little more.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that should get us there.
Okay, so hopefully this will be really simple. We have a septic on Rice Ave, on the corner of Rice Ave and Chapin Street. Number 254 Rice. We are replacing the existing pit and system that is here where I'm waving my cursor. Those are going to be left in place. This will be opened up and filled. We are putting in some new tanks. The riparian zone ends right here. So this 2,000-gallon tank and the leach field is out of the riparian zone altogether. It is this section of main going out to the field, this section of main going out to the tanks, and the force main coming out of the residence, which is within the riparian zone. That's basically it.
Matt, you're talking the inner riparian zone, right?
No.
This is the outer riparian zone.
Outer riparian
200 foot riverfront area.
200 foot is right
That's the
here.
line.
I couldn't see that. Okay, yep. All right.
Yeah.
So it's the outer riparian zone. The river is actually across the street from Chapin Street.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have the road in between the actual wetland and water body and the where the work is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I filed that, and the fact that it was a very small amount of work within the outer riparian zone is the reason why I filed it as an RTA.
Okay.
Yep. When I took a look at it, I would recommend that we approve it and just have a condition that the a sediment barrier be installed and inspected prior to the main body of work happening.
Are those sediment barriers I see in the plan there? They're like black lines with no?
I don't think so. I think that's why we need to just get one where it's needed.
It's not on the plan, but we're going to include it as a condition for the determination.
Right. Is that the case, Matt? You don't have any
No, there's
on there?
nothing drawn on here. I mean, we can put it from where I'm waving my hand, like from right here, just past the corner.
Yep. Yeah, up close to the work, as close as we can get it without getting in the way. And we can work that in the field.
Yep. We can do that.
Any questions from the commission? Comments? Concerns? No public hands up? I'm guessing, Matt, this is a failed system. You want to get it. You want to get at it pretty quickly, right?
As soon as possible.
Sure.
There's a hand up from a Leonard
Oh,
there.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. Leonard, I can't hear you.
He's muted.
You're muted, sir. There you go.
Hi, this is Tamara Leonard, and my husband, Mark. We live at 258 Rice Avenue in Northborough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit confused because I heard you both say tank and then tanks plural. Our concern being that we understand that in the long run, the plan is to tear down this two-family structure and put in a new home. So I wanted just to reference that and understand what the plan is. Is it tank or tanks?
Okay, so as far as the demolition and rebuilding of the house, there's nothing that's been indicated to me about that. So that would be something that would have to happen in the future, which would result in another filing. So that's actually not in the application. We have basically a 1, 2, 3 tank system. 215 gallon tanks and a 2,000 gallon tank. The 2 1,500 gallon tanks, the line coming from the house and some of the mains are within jurisdiction. This 2,000 gallon tank here in the leach field are out of jurisdiction. They're out of the riverfront entirely. My understanding is, and I usually don't file until such time as there's been an approval by the Board of Health. So
Right.
this has already been approved.
And the reason for these tanks being removed, are they degrading? Are they leaking?
It's a failed system. So the existing system right here right at the corner of Chapin is failed. It's going to be abandoned and left in place.
And so they went and they applied to the Board of Health. The Board of Health has approved a repair on this site. So that means they're not increasing the flow to the existing system or to the repair system. If they were to increase the flow, then it's not considered a repair. It's considered an enlargement. And that wasn't what was requested. So I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about making any changes to the building. So as Matt said, that would have to come before us because that work is also within the 200-foot zone. So right now it's just the septic repair or septic system replacement.
Okay, and then so you're just preparing to keep it from filtering into the water.
Yes.
aquifer.
Yeah, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
All right. And
Thank you.
That's the only thing going on here. Okay, perfect.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Matt, look, one question here. So the existing failed system was a gravity feed and the new one is a pump?
It says force main on number 5. So yeah, it probably is a pump.
Yeah, coming. I know it's uphill. So there it's okay. All right, good. Good. No other questions? Don't see any hands up. Okay, so we need to issue a negative determination, Vinny, with any conditions or conditions around the erosion control device.
That's a great idea after you close the hearing.
Well, that's what I will do. So that's, but that's the only condition, right? The erosion control device?
Yes, inspect the erosion control device. Yeah.
Okay. We need a motion to close the hearing for 254 Rice Avenue at RDA.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by, I think that was Kelly. I couldn't see. Roll call. Todd Helwig.
Yes.
John Johnson.
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Now we're going to issue a negative determination with the only point being the erosion control device. Vinny, is that correct?
Yep. Sediment control barrier.
Okay.
Prior to start.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Seconded by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig.
Yes.
John Johnson.
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. All set.
Thank you very much. And before I sign out, is that all right? Really quick, if I just let you know about Barefoot Road?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was the snow that actually stopped him from actually completing the work. He's just waiting for a little bit more thaw. We'll resume the work. He actually does in storage in the house right now. Actually has all of the shrub plantings and all of the supplies he needs to finish up the work. He's just keeping them in the residence in the garage to keep them warm. So we're just waiting for a little bit more thaw to get those plantings done, but that is on his radar. He was going to get started and then snow and ice kind of just got in the way all of a sudden. So
He's made progress already. So we can see that a lot of that stuff's out of the wetlands.
Yes.
So that's good. Yep. Matt, do you have anything else going on with you? Are you doing Settlers Road?
Yes, but I haven't heard anything back from my client on that yet. He knows what you guys want. I know that I had flagged the areas out. They were being survey located and I was supposed to get some sort of a plan. I'm still waiting on that. With that, I'd bring it to Vinny and then we'd formulate some type of response and further action. But I'm still waiting for that.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And to follow up on that, I sent an email, I think it was a week or probably a little over a week ago, to the owners asking for an update and when things are going to happen. It is stabilized, but we want to get the filing for restoration and to define the wetlands that are buried under the fill to really define that. That's what we're looking for next.
Well, I know the tail end of last week, I did speak to the engineer. He was actually out of town. He was on his way back in. So supposed to touch base with him midweek. So hopefully, Vinny, I'll be able to give you a shout with an update.
Okay. And to
Good.
jump back on 186 Barefoot, did he excavate all that material out of the back that we had seen when we were out
He got
there?
most of it, but like I said, the snow kind of stopped him. So he was just waiting for me to give him more direction.
Okay.
And I wanted to discuss it with you guys at the meeting first. So I spoke to his daughter, I want to say last Thursday, and just said, have him just hold his horses right now, keep the plants warm, and we'll get back together on that. So.
Good. Okay.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks.
See you in January. Have a good holiday.
You bet. You too.
Thank you. An NOI application for 230 Solomon Pond Road and 10 and 30 Barefoot Road. Local wetlands only.
Good evening, Mr. Chairperson.
Hello.
Good evening to the chair and to the members of the commission. Just for the record, Mr. Chair, my name is Adam Baldarelli from Fletcher Tilton, appearing on behalf of the applicant 30 Barefoot Road LLC. I'm joined by a few members of our team this evening, Mr. John Rockwood, our professional wetland scientist from Ecotech Incorporated, as well as Jesse Aguilar from High Point Engineering, and Mr. Quentin Hart from Accord Development. I'd just like to start off by giving a brief background, and then I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Rockwood to talk in greater detail. As you may recall, Quentin appeared before this commission on October 20th, I believe, on an informal basis to introduce this project. And our notice of intent filing and our appearance here tonight is in furtherance of that. The applicant is the owner of 30 Barefoot Road as well as 230 Solomon Pond Road, and a portion, and is in the process of acquiring a portion of land located at 10 Barefoot Road. So the proposed site for this project consists of the northeast portion of land from 30 Barefoot Road, as well as 230 Solomon Pond Road, and a portion of land from 10 Barefoot Road. Currently, the site is developed with two commercial buildings. They're both single-story structures. There's an office building and a light industrial building.
Adam, excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry. Do we have a visual here?
Yeah, Adam, if you don't mind, I'd like to share my screen and sort of orient everyone as part of that.
Make it a little bit easier to.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen now? Should be showing.
I can see pictures, yes.
Yeah, okay. I will let Adam continue in a moment. So this is a bird's eye perspective of the project sort of locus, which encompasses basically all of this area. So we are the owners of 30 Barefoot Road, which is an existing single-story light industrial building here. We own the vacant land behind and to the northeast of 30 Barefoot Road. And then 10 Barefoot owned, 10 Barefoot is a separately owned single-story office and industrial building, not owned by us, but joining us in this application because our overall project encompasses a portion of their site, which we intend to acquire from them. The depression in question is located approximately here, and we will go to a specific plan. I just find that the actual aerials and photos are helpful for everyone to sort of orient themselves. And then this is, of course, at the corner of Interstate 290 and Solomon Pond Road. So in response to demand from companies, wishing to establish their locations in areas like this, and consistent with the economic development goals of Northborough, which include diversifying the tax base and supporting infill development in zones where it makes sense, we're proposing development of a light industrial building of approximately 60,000 square feet, which is the building depicted in line work in this corner of the site here. As part of that project, we're here with a notice of intent application with waivers to disturb and fill an isolated vegetated wetland of approximately 10,965 square feet. While the land here is underutilized, as you can see, the footprints of the existing buildings make the vacant area that's developable limited. And so it's underutilized but not expansive. We have endeavored to look at alternatives here, and we've considered many, but none have been identified as viable. And so the isolated vegetated wetland, the intent is to disturb and fill it entirely, and have related mitigation associated with that. The isolated vegetated wetland was determined by our wetland consultant Ecotech. John Rockwood is on the call. He can speak in a moment, but it's surrounded by upland woods and roads. It's not priority habitat or floodplain, and it is not isolated land subject to flooding by the standards of the Act or the bylaw. And observations throughout the spring of 2023 and 2024 and 2025 found no evidence of vernal pool habitat. So we believe this project will not have a cumulative or significant impact upon the wetland values in Northborough. It does not contribute significantly. This wetland does not contribute significantly to groundwater protection, flood control, and it does not contain unique vernal pool or rare species habitat. However, we intend to develop the site thoughtfully and with mitigation. So you'll see depicted in green, we have areas of low impact design stormwater management. I'm sorry, I have that mixed up. Ignore my key here for a moment. Let's switch that around. The potential surface low impact design stormwater management areas are in orange, and native species planting is depicted in green. And so we have here a total of 16,043 square feet of mitigation planting or surface stormwater, which totals to a mitigation ratio as compared to the isolated vegetated wetland of 1.5 to 1. You may recall that's an improvement over what we showed you at the informal meeting in October. We've increased it about 30%. And also just want to call out that we also consolidated the areas in which we're doing the planting and stormwater, including an effort to get some of those areas closer and almost on top of where the disturbance or the disturbed wetland is going to occur. And so I think we both increased the area and found better and more consolidated locations for them to occur. So this approach, we feel, allows development of the site while preserving the characteristics of the existing resource. And I'm going to turn it back to Adam to sort of explain our application and the waivers we've requested. And then I'd open it up to my team to make additional comments that may help the commission understand our project and certainly hear any questions or comments from the commission itself or the public.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Quentin. Yes, as Quentin mentioned, as part of our application, we have filed for 3 waiver requests from the regulations. The first is Regulation 4.1, saying that the commission will consider projects up to 3,500 square feet if the applicant demonstrates certain things. As you can see on the plan here in the pink region, the isolated vegetated wetlands that we seek to alter, fill in, and build upon will be greater than 3,500. It's shown to be 10,695 square feet of a depression, constituting isolated vegetated wetland. In addition, we have filed a waiver from Regulation 4.2, whereby the commission may allow work closer to the resource area if the applicant shows certain things. In this instance, we will need to put the structure within 35 feet of that resource area, frankly, because we would be building upon it. The single-story structure would be built upon it. And lastly, the third waiver we're requesting are certain portions of Regulation 5.3. Those have to do with specific application requirements. However, we feel that what we have provided, and it goes to all of our application and all of our requests for waiver, does not deter from the public interest, and it's not inconsistent with the purpose of protecting the wetlands and resource areas. So just to take a step back here, with regards to the public interest, as you can see here, the specific location of where our project will be located, we believe it offers limited opportunity for recreation, aesthetics, and agriculture. The site is located in the rear of two already developed lots, as we've seen on the image here. It's surrounded by Interstate 290 and its off-ramp, which would be the Salmon Pond Mall. It's also separated by a 6-foot chain link fence between the interstate and the proposed structure. So based off its location, we think it offers, as it is, a limited opportunity for recreation to be used in another manner. Also, due to its location, it's on the primary route of access to Interstate 290. So traffic to this property, once the property or structure is built, would have traffic that avoids going by residential addresses. We also feel that this proposed site and structure would be in harmony with the Northborough Master Plan, as it promotes development opportunity to what we feel is an underutilized and undeveloped commercial property as it stands right now. With that, we also believe it will attract tax revenue once constructed and used for its light industrial purpose. And I certainly would like Mr. Rockwood to explain more, but we believe that it's also not inconsistent with the intent and purpose of the bylaws. And Quentin touched on these items a few moments ago. The bordering vegetated wetlands, lakes, ponds, creeks, those were not observed on this site or within 100 feet of the proposed limit of work. There are no rivers, streams, or flow paths located on or within 200 feet of this site. Also not observed were estimated habitats or priority habitats. Also not observed were certified or potential vernal pools on or in the immediate vicinity of this site. The site is also not located within designated surface water and groundwater protection areas, so it's not a significant contribution to the protection of groundwater. And with that, based off of the standards required by the regulations, we do believe that we have met the needs for these particular waivers, as explained in our application as well. And what I'd like to do is turn it over to Mr. Rockwood now to explain in greater detail his findings.
Okay, my name is Dr. John Rockwood. I'm a principal scientist at Ecotech. I started work on this project in December of 2023 with making observations of this area. We evaluated this on several dates in the spring of 2024 and again in the spring of 2025. The wetland was, in 2024, it did contain some standing water. That area was, observations were made of the area, and no evidence of any vernal pool biology was noted within the area. And then in 2025, the area didn't contain standing water through the spring. So physically and biologically, it does not meet the guidelines for certification as a vernal pool based upon 2 years of observations. As Adam indicated, there are no state regulated resources on the site. There's a small area of buffer zone. I don't see at the bottom of the plan that we're showing, the pink line at Barefoot Road. But the work isn't proposed within that. The isolated wetlands proposed to be filled for building mitigation and for an access road around the building. Mitigation is proposed in terms of plantings and low impact development stormwater systems. There's also a subsurface infiltration system, which is the yellow rectangle shown in the plan, which will contribute to infiltration of stormwater runoff from the site. My analysis memorandum went through all of the interests under the bylaw. Quentin and Adam sort of summarized most of them, but there's a detailed assessment there that basically goes through all of the bylaw interests. And it's the wetland is not really significant to the protection of any of them. The wetland is a flooded red maple swamp, and the surrounding uplands are oak, pine, maple forest. Those are two very common cover types in central Massachusetts and throughout Massachusetts. So there's no loss of a different or more important type of wildlife habitat or plant community. Again, this area is isolated from the roads to the north and east by chain link fence, and it's isolated by those roadways from areas further to the north and east. And this project site is isolated from areas to the west and south by the existing commercial development. So what you have here is a good scenario where for altering this wetland, you meet the project purpose, which is constructing a building, and you have a site plan that works to functionally support this building with very limited impact and basically no real impacts or significant accumulative impacts to the wetland values protected under the bylaw.
Interesting.
Excellent. Thank you.
Questions? I've got some questions if you're ready.
Go for it.
Simply, could you just kind of walk us through a little more detail the mitigation plan? I know you had some key questions there, colors maybe not matching. Just kind of walk us through what's involved there.
Yeah, so basically there's two types of mitigation. The colors are not wrong, they're just switched. So in the legend to the right somehow got backwards, and I will own that one. But to be clear, planting like many plants is green on the plan. So we have planting areas which would consist of the species that were found in the wetland itself today. And so you can see a list of those species that John had identified on his investigations. Blueberries, a lot of berry shrubs, ferns, some birch. And so the idea is that those species will be planted in the two large areas. One is on the east side of the site, close to where the wetland is today, and the other is to the north side of the project site along 290. And then the second component of the mitigation is surface low impact design stormwater management. So basically rain gardens would be the key kind of term narrative that the areas depicted in orange will be. So they will be collecting site drainage and infiltrating it in a natural way back into the on-site on the surface. And then the third component, which I guess could be considered a portion of the mitigation, although it's not part of our calculation, is that we are contemplating subsurface infiltration, which is the area depicted in yellow, which basically means that we will capture additional water from the site and infiltrate it underground to ensure that we're not creating too much runoff off-site.
What is that? What is that? Is that a rain garden on at the very south of the plan?
Yeah, that's also a low impact surface stormwater rain garden there as well.
Yeah, Jesse Aguilar, High Point Engineering, the site civil engineer. That strip of orange stormwater management area along the southernmost edge of the new parking lot is a water quality swale that's tributary to a rain garden at the southwest corner of the parking lot, just to clarify.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the one way
yeah.
down, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm
Way
talking about
down.
the.
Okay, yeah, that is also a rain garden
Okay.
nearest Barefoot Road. My apologies.
Nope. Good. Thank you. Any other question from the commission? Vinny, you got questions or comments or none?
Oh, sorry, Vinny, I think you're muted.
Vinny, you're muted.
Yep, I'm back.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I've looked through it, and the questions that I have, there's no details to really dig into, but the ideas are there. What I'd be looking for is to see that those stormwater treatment mechanisms, the LID meets the pre-treatment requirements. So some of those paved areas going into a rain garden just don't work without having pre-treatment, or otherwise you're going to get pollutants going down into the groundwater. So we want to be able to provide that and show it. But I think that's the next step, the next level of this project. Really what we're looking at is the request is more to fill an isolated vegetated wetland, which is protected under the local bylaw, and kind of taking each piece of that isolated vegetated wetland and put some of those pieces in different locations around the site. The 1.5 to 1 requirement comes from the town's bylaw to waive the alteration of up to 3,500 square feet. So I'm glad that they're applying that to the full 10,800 or so, whatever it was. So that's a good opportunity to get some replication of the pieces of that isolated vegetated wetland. So there are good aspects of this. The one thing that I was looking for was to see why we can't just take that isolated vegetated wetland in the full area and put it in an elongated form to the north of 30 Barefoot Road. I haven't seen any analysis of that alternative.
Well, yeah, if I might just comment on that, Vinny. I mean, here's basically the approach here. As John sort of summarized, this is not creating unique creature habitat. This is native planting, and there's some stormwater infiltration happening in it, and that is what we're seeking to mitigate. So we're not proposing. We're proposing replication of the characteristics that we feel this wetland contributes to the site, but not replication of the wetland itself. We feel that if we can be sure, the most ecologically friendly, protective thing we could do is just not develop the site. But we are weighing the interest of furtherance development and growth of humanity and trying to do it in a careful way. And so the careful way here would be to try to find areas on the site that fit within the footprint of our project area where we can appropriately mitigate the characteristics of the wetland that we're losing without simply extending the reach of the project to replicate the wetland in its entirety on the site, at the loss of some of the upland nature that would remain there untouched.
I understand that. I guess the thing is I'm looking at it is that it is a wetland, and we're not replicating any wetland. We're replicating some trees on a slope associated with the parking, and we're replicating or creating low impact development stormwater things, which are both good. And I think those are helpful to the environment, to the area here. This is definitely not a high value resource area where it's going to be impacting the river or some floodway or some groundwater supply. But for some reason, the town of Northborough voted to include isolated vegetated wetlands in their protected resources. So that's the only thing I'm looking forward or looking toward is to make sure that they are protected or at least evaluated, and then the commission has the ability to waive this and approve what you're proposing. So it's a decision of the commission to say, okay, we've looked at it. We really don't want to wipe out all the trees in the north of that 30 Barefoot Road area, and we don't want to not have this development. And it's their decision to say, okay, let's move ahead and in the process here, we get all the treatment that we need, and you build it out appropriately. You're still going to have to come back for the land disturbance permit with the commission, and that would be the one where we would be really evaluating the stormwater quality aspects of this.
Oh, agreed. Thank you.
Okay. Any commissioners have comments about what we're seeing here? Questions?
I'm good with it. And I think I pretty much expressed that at our last, the informal session.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay. Yeah, I understand Vinny, where Vinny's coming from. I'm not sure that we could fit it in here. This is not a bad compromise, in my opinion, on that side. I mean, it does take into account some good environmental devices, LED work. So I think it's in the right direction. So Vinny, do we can't close this today, can we? You need more information, or can we close it?
No, actually, it's, I think what they've submitted is adequate to address where they're going and how they're addressing this, this isolated vegetated wetland. And I think we could close it, and we could issue a decision that, and one of the conditions would be that the stormwater system would be evaluated for compliance with Mass DEP standards when they file their stormwater management and land disturbance permit application.
Okay. Yep.
And that's up to the commission. I think that would be reasonable.
All right, good. So we will go ahead and grant those 3 waivers.
Yes.
4.1, 4.2, and part 5.3. Okay. See, we have any public comment out here? I don't see any hands up. Okay. Then we need a motion to close the hearing on 230 Salem Pond Road and 1030 Barefoot Road.
So moved.
Second.
Second by, that was Kelly, I believe. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Close the hearing. Now we're looking to issue a order of conditions for 230 Salem Pond Road and 1030 Barefoot Road, which includes waivers for 4.1, 4.2, and parts of 5.3 as indicated by the applicant.
So moved.
Second.
Did I catch it all, Todd? Is that all right? Did I catch everything there?
Sounded good to me.
Okay, okay. Seconded by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Very good. All right.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks for the
everybody.
presentation.
Thank you.
We'll see you again at some point in time.
Yes.
We'll be back.
There we go. Okay, thank you. All right. The last item we have on the hearing agenda, it's actually, this is really not on the hearing. Is it Vinny, the timely policy?
Well, it's not really a hearing, but it's during public meeting where people can comment on it.
Yes, okay. All right. So we've got a timely hearing policy, which is on the agenda. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yes, it's the commission's policy that they've been doing for a few years, or since I've been here, and I think a few years before that, but just to keep projects moving and not getting them stuck on our agenda month after month with no progress. So When I looked, I had a request from someone to, actually, I think it was on 13 River Street.
Yes.
And they said, okay, well, if you can send me the documentation of why we need to keep moving and that the local policy is written as a policy, I'll send it to the engineer to get them moving. And I didn't have a written policy. It's not been voted on. It's just been an understanding of the commission. So I figured I'd draft it as to be our second policy. The first one was being the deer hunting policy change that was done either earlier, I guess it was earlier this year, and we'll put this one on that list to kind of keep things moving in our agenda.
It's actually our third policy change because we also have the one about receiving documents.
Oh,
prior
yes,
to the
right.
Wednesday prior, right?
Yep. You guys have been busy.
But they're all cousins, on this piece, which is really keeping
Yeah.
things moving, keeping things flowing here.
Exactly, right.
So if we have an applicant, they opened up, this is month 5, there's still no progress. They were continuing to month 6, that's the last chance, whether we see it in month 6, but we still have some latitude on our side to.
Yeah, it allows the commission to close a public hearing and deny the project without prejudice. So you're not going to hold anything against them. It's just that they, for some reason, haven't gotten their information or data together, and it's just been dragging. You close the hearing, it encourages them to get all the information to you because they'd have to refile, and submit the application fees. So there's a little cost to kind of keep them moving. Because right now they can just continue and continue, and there's really no cost to it. So this encourages them to move on this. And if they have been providing information and the agent has been asking lots of questions, or something is going back and forth with changes in their intention or in the review, as long as progress is happening, the commission wouldn't initiate this process. But if nothing has kind of been transmitted or going back and forth between the commission and the applicants, then it allows the commission to do it. And there are wiggle words in there with reasonable time, and it just basically says it allows the commission to close the public hearing. But if you have wording changes, that would be helpful for those legal-minded folks. And your thoughts and considerations, just provide, let me know what you think.
Okay. What's the commission think?
I think it's a good thing. We should put it in play.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Yeah, good. No issues, no pushback here. Good.
I have no problems. I have no problems with how it's written. I certainly am a proponent of the policy.
Yes, you've been saying you have been pretty standard about it. It's 5 months, 6 months. How long has this been on here? Have we
Well,
seen
given the number of years I've been on the commission and the number of times things have happened without any action, it's probably been a couple days.
This is the proverbial fire under their tush.
Right.
That's right.
Yes.
Good. So we want to vote this?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's have a motion to implement the timely hearing policy as drafted by Vinnie, subject to edits, comments by the commission.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig.
Yes.
John Johnson.
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
Sadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. So if anybody has comments, on the wording, send them on to Vinnie, and then you can incorporate them into the final document.
Yep, that would be good. I don't think I can make any significant changes, but just small editing stuff would be good, because that way we can't break the public hearing or the public meeting
Context or grammar or that kind of stuff.
Right, right.
Okay, some COCs. We've got a lot of COCs. We may be able to lump some of these together, Vinnie.
Yes, sir.
Like Howard Street, Church Street.
The culverts.
2 are culverts.
Yes, those are projects that were done by the town. Work was done, completed. I was a little nervous a couple of times, but it was completed. There were no impacts to the resource areas, and the contractor followed through and got things done. So it worked out well. And we have as-built, and I took photographs, and those were on the the Dropbox for people to look at, yeah, photos of the areas where the discharge locations were placed. And you can barely tell that the ground and the vegetation is pushed down, but it's going to just grow right back now because they placed a fabric down first, did all the stuff on top, and then they pulled the fabric back when they were done with the work, and everything underneath was still stable and in place.
Okay. No issues, and they're both provable in your view.
Yes, both okay, ready to go.
Was Washburn Street a culvert too, or what was that?
It was Howard Street, south of Washburn Street. It was 700 feet south of Washburn is the location given on the Howard Street culvert.
I'm talking about 107 Washburn Street.
No, that's a septic repair.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's vote those first two. We need to accept COCs for Howard Street culvert and Church Street culvert, 2471260 and 2471261.
So moved.
Okay, that's to issue certificate of compliances.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kelly. Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yeah.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. 107 Washburn Street, Vinny.
Yeah, 107 Washburn is a repair, and 600 Howard is a new septic. Both were installed. Everything looks good, and they're ready to go.
Okay, we need to vote issues COCs for 107 Washburn Street and 600 Howard Street, 2471263 and 2471247.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. We have three here, lots 1, 2, and 3, 75 Ridge Road. These are the actual dwellings. Correct?
Yes, this is the lot development, the house, the septic, and associated pools and whatever else they've got out there with it. So they've protected the 25 and 25-foot no disturb with boulders. That's all shown on the as-built plan. There are a few signs up there to keep the future protected, the areas protected in the future. So the paperwork has been completed, and I recommend that we issue a certificate of compliance for those three.
Okay. We're looking for COCs for lots 1, 2, and 3, 75 Ridge Road, 2471217, 2471218, and 2471219.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call. Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Excuse him.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay. Everything okay there, Sadie? We good?
It was Marley. It wasn't me.
Okay.
He says, "Excuse me, everybody."
There you go. 75 Ridge Road. This is the common drive.
This is the common drive and the whole development proposal under the stormwater management and land disturbance permit. So this is a certificate of completion under the stormwater management and land disturbance.
Okay. Okay. We need an order to issue a certificate of completion for 75 Ridge Road, parcels 105, 106, 107.
So moved.
Second.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right. Good deal. You know, Vinny, somebody should, I'm sure they exist, but before and after photographs for that whole area.
Oh,
What
okay.
used to be down there and what's there now. That's quite something.
Yeah, I've got lots of photos in our file. There's a street file in the town hall of the whole process. I've been out there a lot and I take photos. And actually, I see Letitia Oliveira, and she's been the inspector on that project for 2 years now. She's
Hey, Letitia.
submitted a lot
Hi.
of photos as well.
Well, very good. That's really quite a job that was done there. What a job. From broken down cars with trees living on top of them to three beautiful homes in great location.
Yeah,
So,
it was an awesome project.
well,
Thank you
your
for all
help.
your support, Vinny.
Oh, you're welcome.
Super. All right. Let's see. We're going on here to violations. Nothing. Well, we have plenty in our informal discussion. We already covered some of them.
Yeah.
we covered 15 settlers, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes,
we-
hopefully we'll get an update later this week from the Matt Marrow.
how much do we think, how much wetlands has been buried there? Like an acre? 2 acres?
Impacted?
Buried. They
Yes.
plowed it in?
No, I think it's only probably 10,000 square feet at the most.
Quarter acre, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's been going on for a while, so. But we're going to go and dig test pits and then test the soil. It's the only
Yep.
way to do it.
Yep. 186 Barefoot, we talked about that one. He's making progress. He's pulled a lot of the stuff out of the wetlands.
Yes. Yeah.
His boulders up.
Oh, and I don't know if I put it on the agenda. I think I pulled it because there was no progress on 45 Belmont Street.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep.
Right.
That's the one where it's the old Tweeds, the old Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, Casa whatever it is, something. Yeah,
Casa.
down on Route 9.
Yes.
Casa Vallarta.
Casa Vallarta. Yeah,
Muy
there you go.
bueno. That's it.
Yeah. So they have not done anything, but I spoke to Central Mass Mosquito Control folks, and I know that I'd heard that they were doing a tire removal project in the fall oftentimes. So I contacted the folks over there and asked them if they could take a ride over and see if they could help out in this area. And they went over last week and pulled 50 tires and are going to go back, I think, after the snow kind of gets cleared out, if it ever does. They're going to go back out and pull more. So they're doing some improvements even without any effort from the owner. But they're still being held up. Nothing is issued from the town because everything's on hold until they get into compliance.
Right. All right. Small steps of progress.
Yes. Yes.
220 Hudson Street.
220 Hudson, they're in good shape. They pulled out any hazardous or man-made materials other than some piping and some 2x8s, 2x10s that are right up against the fence, and then a couple of paving stones that they didn't want to pull up now when it's all muddy. They'll pull that all up in the springtime when they do the planting. So everything there looks stable for the winter, and we'll wait till probably April or so to really finalize it and make sure that whatever vegetation is growing.
Okay. 0 Saddle Hill Drive we covered with Glenn Kravosky.
Yes. Yep. Glenn's on the job there. So that's good.
And 35 Solomon Pond Road, the restaurant on.
Yep. I was contacted by LEC Consulting, and they've been hired and are preparing some plans for restoration and potentially requesting some alterations within the 25-foot and the 35-foot setbacks.
All right. So that's moving forward too.
Yes.
And 346 South Street.
Oh, that one's doing great. They cleaned everything up and took out stuff that was there before they even purchased the property. They were very agreeable. The owners at 346, the Blanchards, were great to work with. They were responsive, and they cleaned it up and without many questions and got it done well. So
good.
It was
Good.
great.
Good deal. All right, those are all moving forward here.
Yes.
And that's all we have. Good stuff.
I think so.
Anybody else have anything going on in your neck of the woods? Anything going? Anybody with bulldozers or backhoes and running around? Or nothing. Everything's good.
We have, excuse me. We got something from Sustainable Northborough. You got it, Greg? I think it went out to everybody else. But,
nope.
Yeah, I know that they've done a lot of work. They kind of summarized all the work they've done over at Edmund Hill. They had some question about some of the comments that were made at the last meeting, or a couple of words that were used to describe them. But we want to try to encourage cooperation and working together. So,
oh yes, yeah. I went back and looked at the video.
Yeah.
On that side, and it was one of the commissioners had used the term. I think it was a matter of, we were talking about how the chosen firm had to have some good interpersonal skills because dealing with the public, very important, because we know there's going to be some reaction. And the term was a potentially hostile group, but then that was changed to impassioned.
Right.
So they ran with that a bit, and it's okay.
Right. And I think it was more, the comments were not that the people in town
No,
were
no,
that,
yeah,
but that
yeah.
there could be that kind of a situation and the consultant should be ready for it.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where it was. So
Right.
I think that was good. Just so the commission's aware of it.
Well, a lot of the folks use the woods, right? Use those areas, and they start seeing work in there without knowing what's going on. It's a natural reaction. So it's
right.
We get in front of that.
Yep. Good.
All right. Anybody else have anything going on? Nothing? Good. January 12th looking good at this point in time? We don't know, right? Good for Kelly.
Good weather.
Here we go. Okay. All right.
I may or may not be out of town on the 12th, but I'm not sure. So I'll let you guys know once our plans kind of finalized.
Yeah, good. Just keep us updated
Yeah.
with Stadium and that one. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yep, will do.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
Justin said that he was a maybe in January as well. There was something that,
Yeah, he was, what was that this month?
well, this month he said he had something that he had to get to as a conflict, but I thought he said also January.
Oh, okay. I'll check mine as well. We'll see. That's fine.
Yep.
All right.
It's great. You guys went through 17 plus items very quickly. It was impressive.
All right. Good stuff. Well, I hope everybody has a happy holiday. And if you're traveling, safe travels. And I hope to see
we
you.
need a motion to close.
You have that motion to close.
We're still open.
Yeah, but I've just made the motion.
And I'm gonna second it.
Okay, we're gonna vote it. Todd Helwig,
Kelly knew what I was doing. Yes, I approve that.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Super. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Very good night.
everybody.
See you
Happy
in
Christmas.
January.
Merry Christmas, everyone.